welcome to the Death Battle cast. Hey, I'm Ben, voice of Wiz in Death Battle and stuff. Joined by a couple amazing, talented people, including Billy,
Hey.
who's got to make a dramatic entrance as usual. But Billy, of course, is the voice of Ringmaster and effects extraordinaire. If you have not seen Sauron versus Lich King, you should. He is one of the people responsible for making it look as incredible as it does.
Yeah. Fucking killed it.
And there's
explode.
we will definitely talk a bit about that because we have I believe we have a commentary up, or a commentary is coming up for the episode that you should definitely check out if you haven't. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about the episode that we haven't had a chance to yet. But anyway, that was also the voice of Liam, writer, director, researcher.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, Liam. I'm ready to jump into combat with you in just a minute with a matchup that has been I don't want to say surprisingly popular, but it was we've heard
it's a franchise we get requests about a lot. The fight itself is definitely the one that I've seen the most, but it's not like one of our all-time most popular requests. It's more like a confluence of, we get Kamen Rider in general requested all the time, and this one is the most requested out of all of them.
Yeah, but it's complicated, but we'll get to that. Yeah. And then we've also got editor extraordinaire Nicholas. Hey, Nick, what's up?
Hello, it's me. It's Medley, and Jinjo is off screen. He's probably going to come crash the party any second. How's it going, everyone?
I kind of see I saw his tail like swing in for a moment. You heard his name.
There he is. Here's
there he is.
Cretin. The Cretin.
Right, Medley and Jinjo.
There he is. We will be judging your arguments harshly.
Is one of them better?
Is there 3 votes there?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, if they are here for the vote, they can get a vote as well.
Kamen Rider Ichigo was added to Smash Brothers. It was added to Marvel versus Capcom. So maybe we could do the same thing.
Was he?
Just have him and Cap fighting. No, absolutely.
That doesn't make any sense, Liam.
Why?
But, crossover.
Of course he is. Yeah, it's Marvel.
Are one of your birds more like better behaved than the other? Do you have a troublemaker among the pair, or are they both troublemakers?
Yeah, Jinjo is the troublemaker here. Medley is really, really chill. She only gets to be trouble at all when Jinjo's present. So
Jinjo's a bad influence. I see.
He really is. He's an awful influence, but God, they're adorable. They're not facing you guys, so you don't really get the full effect. But trust me. And hey, I don't know if there's any way to work this in, because I only just in this moment had the idea, but I can totally do some tricks with these guys on camera if we can factor that into their votes somehow. I don't know how. I'm not going to provide any further help on that. I'm just throwing it out there and hoping somebody has a better way to do it than I do.
What do you mean by tricks?
I'm just like, Jinjo can wave hello. You won't be able to hear it, but he can kind of say hello a little bit. I can get him to spin in a circle. He's really enthusiastic about that one. He can give me a kiss.
Spinning in circles.
He can give me a kiss.
Aww.
Okay.
Medley is still learning how to do pretty much any of that, but Jinjo's kind of got the tricks.
So Jinjo may be the troublemaker, but he is at least talented with performance and skill. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have him vote based on what trick he decides to do. I don't know.
Sponge God Omnipants? No. We are not having a death battle between Jinjo and Medley. They must be protected at all costs. We cannot have a world in which one of them kills the other. Come on,
Terrible idea.
They're a fighter duo. They're like ice climbers.
Besides, Medley would win out of pureness. We all know this.
Well, we do have a battle to get to. One that was requested actually in the Champions ballot on the Death Battle Discord, which, by the way, just a reminder, we are doing the whole champions get to vote on a matchup for next year's Death Battle season. And what is going to be in the poll is based on, or is being collected from, the Champions ballot. The Champions ballot from before has been locked so that we could have our fireside chat that we did a couple weeks ago. But a new Champions ballot will be posted pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that in the Death Battle Discord, and then we will have a second fireside chat coming up at the end of this month. I believe that is November 30th. Yes, November 30th. And the purpose of the Fireside Chats, and again, Fireside Chats, members only, sort of hour-long discussion that's just us and you guys hanging out and talking. And this one will specifically be talking about what that poll is going to be. And then shortly after that, I believe in the month of December, we'll actually have the poll up and you guys will get to vote. And whichever matchup wins the vote, it'll be curated a little bit by us, but whichever matchup wins the vote, because we want to make sure it's a matchup that people, it's not some like we don't want you guys to like troll us. But whichever matchup wins the vote, we will do. So I mean, I guess if you guys just 100% troll us and all of the matchups are troll matchups, then we have no choice. But whatever.
Yeah. I for one vote for trolling.
Oh God, I shouldn't have said anything. But yes,
No,
we
you
will be
should
doing
not.
that coming up in the next few weeks, which is it's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing all you guys' responses in the new ballot, because we've had some amazing ones in the current one or in the previous one, including the one we are going to be debating today. Kamen Rider Ichigo, represented by Liam, versus Captain America Steve Rogers, represented by me. So kind of piggybacking on what you were saying before, Liam, about how this Kamen Rider is requested relatively frequently and has been for a while, but it's never been it's one that I know that there is a passionate fan base for, but I'm not certain. I just don't know enough about the series, so I'm glad we're doing this to kind of get our feet wet and learn a little bit about it.
The fact people got so excited about it was pretty fun to see.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe it's just me, but I've never seen a specific matchup be like the one that people have been drawn to. Maybe it's this one. But anytime I see this one, I usually see responses to it saying that like there's a better matchup or whatever for, which I guess happens all the time. But I don't know. Either way, I think I'm going to learn a lot based on this community death battle. But then again, I am also here to crush you, Liam. And completely destroy whatever argument you have for this character that I know nothing about.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for you, Ben. I'm so sorry.
So you're admitting that Liam could just make up anything and you'd have no choice but to believe it.
I would not, because fortunately we have our wonderful members in the chat who I believe will be able to correct
Who
Liam
will be able to validate everything Liam makes up.
Yes, please, members.
Kamen Rider fans.
You are called champions for a reason. Please champion.
Remember that time that he survived a nuke? Oh wait, I didn't actually make that up.
Well, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Huh? As always, the way this works is Liam and I will be debating for our characters, and it's the job of the jury to vote for each character at the end of the arguments. And the jury consists of 3 seats. That'll be Billy, that'll be Nick, and that'll be you all watching this live. If you're watching the archive of this podcast, we do this live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central. And champions get access to an awesome chat that I'm seeing everybody in, as well as our wonderful mods. Okay, so we're going to start with our 60-second opening statements.
Ben, you go first.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go first. Fine, you're going to be dropping all this like ridiculous nuke shit or whatever. Okay, fine. 60 seconds. Here we go. Captain America, Steve Rogers. Hey, look, everybody is pretty familiar with Steve Rogers, right? Like, I don't know if I need to necessarily spend any of this time talking about who he is. The Boy Scout, the super soldier, the World War II hero who punched Hitler in the face. He's a good old boy. He's a nice guy who's one of the most incredible superheroes ever made. I think the key thing to keep in mind for Steve Rogers, though, is that he's not just a strong superhero. He is also a tactical genius. He's gone through so much training, and part of his super soldier-ness includes that training. He is the greatest martial artist in the Marvel Universe. He is the leader of the Avengers consistently, a leader of the Illuminati consistently. He is always the tactician of the group. He knows how to get shit done, and he's got some feats that are way more than I would expect him to have, including light speed and incredible. But I'll get to that later. Liam, Give me the lowdown on Kamen Rider. You got 60 seconds.
It's gonna need a lot more than 60 seconds.
Well,
but this is just to get our feet wet. So Takeshi Hongo is a super genius, perfect man, acrobat, peak human guy, and this is before he was captured by the international terrorist organization Shocker, which is a hilarious name, and turned into this cyborg with incredible fucking superhuman superpowers that was able to escape and went, fuck you, I'm gonna kick your guys' asses. And he can turn into Kamen Rider, which is this weirdly bug-themed superhero. I haven't figured out why he's bug-themed, but he's unbelievably powerful. He's basically impossible to kill. He's a super genius. He's the leader of all the Kamen Riders when they team up. He is a master martial artist. He has more powers than Cap. He's stronger, he's faster, he's tougher, he's better in every single way, and we can start to just get to feats to prove that. He's going to kick Steve's ass, no cap.
Clever.
Okay. That's
Clever
terrible.
pun.
All right. Look, so he's a cyborg. Does he transform? I've always thought Kamen Rider was basically like Super Sentai. Is it Super Sentai, or is there a difference?
Basically, I mean, he's a
it's
cyborg. He uses like this belt to transform, and his super suit appears over him. And the super suit has tons of gadgets and extra abilities as well.
So he's a Sentai biker gang member.
Yes, and he has a fucking sick motorcycle called the Cyclone 1, and I think a newer version called the New Cyclone, which, you know.
Oh, they didn't go Cyclone 2? Seems like
yeah.
obvious.
And originally, the way that he would transform is that his belt, he would get on the bike and he'd go at like 400 kilometers an hour, because that's how fast it could go. And the wind would power a turbine that connects to like a miniature nuclear reactor inside of him to then activate his powers and like flood his muscles with energy and then turn him into his super form.
I think most importantly of all, Jack of all trades mentioned in the chat is he also played Segata Sanshiro.
He's also Segata Sanshiro, and the reason why Segata Sanshiro people blow up when Segata Sanshiro throws them is because whenever a Kamen Rider kicks you with his ultimate fucking finishing move called the Rider Kick, and there are better versions of the Rider Kick, but even just the basic Rider Kick, when he kicks you, you stumble over, defeated, and then explode in a jump cut, because it was a shitty.
So it's always just a reference to Kamen Rider
show from the 70s.
Wait, is it called the Ultimate Fucking Kick? Like what?
No,
it's
called
not.
the Rider Kick.
Okay,
it's just called the Rider Kick, and there's some better version of it called the Rider Insert Extra Name Here Kick. It's something like that. But yeah, the Rider Kick. He kicks you and you explode. You blow up. Get fucked.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure he's come back in later, because I know it's the Power Rangers Super Sentai thing. There's many times refreshes to the character, but he comes back
up to like the modern day, basically. I didn't check the date on when like the latest like crossover he's been in, but basically modern day. And he's always the leader of all the Kamen Riders. Even before he got his superpowers, he had an IQ of 600, which is incomprehensible for a human being. Like it's at the point where they kind of stop like that doesn't even really make sense as you measure IQ.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but he has it. He can create Did
he take some sort of rigged test where it's like it already started at 400 and then
it's
it went up from there?
You just
fucking badass. Yeah. And that's why they targeted him, because he was already perfect. He was already basically Captain America.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Captain America, they made him the super soldier for moral reasons. For Ichigo, is his name Ichigo?
No, his name is Hongo Takeshi, or Takeshi Hongo.
So for Takeshi, they targeted him because he was already an incredible.
He was already like the coolest dude ever. He was like an acrobat. He already like a lot of I think he was like a master motorcyclist already. Maybe people in the chat can like fill in my knowledge.
I mean, ZOV in the chat says Ichigo has kicked big purple men, so you know that's a big important feat to keep in mind.
We were looking for a death battle for a Prum all those months ago.
We found it.
Wow, that's a callback. Nobody's gonna
call back to a
I barely
tweet, not even to another
reference.
episode of the podcast.
Oh my god,
worst thing ever made.
Okay, so you mentioned the rider kick, and that makes people explode. It's only natural to ask, Ben, are you aware of some of the biggest explosions Captain America has survived? Could he survive a rider kick?
Well, okay. So this now makes sense why I've seen people request him against Captain Falcon. Suddenly, that matchup request makes a lot more sense.
Oh, makes sense.
See, I'm learning stuff here. Okay. Captain. So I want to talk about his shield, because clearly the shield is going to be
it's a big deal. Yeah.
The biggest thing that Cap brings to this table, and how he uses the shield. Because I think at the end of the day, based on what I'm hearing, it's going to be pretty clear that Kamen Rider is going to outstat Captain America, at least in terms of just power output.
I agree.
But I believe it is possible that Cap is smart enough and quick enough to outmaneuver that and use Kamen Rider strength against him and win in that way.
Please.
So the shield is incredibly durable. It is capable of taking full hits or full power hits from Thor, Hulk, and those. For all intents and purposes, the shield is indestructible. It would take an enormous amount of power, far beyond what I imagine Kamen Rider. Far beyond what I imagine Kamen Rider is capable of doing. When Thanos destroys it in the MCU movie, that's bullshit. Like, if it were the comic book shield, he would never be able to bend it. Unless he was using.
I would make a joke and be like, except for that time that Kamen Rider blew up the multiverse, right, guys? And make it really obvious that I'm joking, but then people would be like, "You're lying, Liam!" Like, so no.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, keep in mind, whenever Liam lies, call him out. Liam the liar.
Even when it's
Only
clear
Liam.
that I'm
Only
kidding.
Liam.
Only Liam, not me.
Not when Ben does it.
Like when I lie and I say that Captain America obviously has access to the Speed Force, and therefore he should be able to win.
Kamen Rider can actually shit out like clones of the One Above All from Marvel. Like Cell Juniors.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
That's an odd crossover. They would specifically put the One Above All in Kamen Rider.
He eats
not
too
Iron Man.
big of a breakfast, and then he's like, oh, and then out comes God.
But he has to eat first.
He has to eat first.
Gotcha.
If Captain America can
prevent
prevent him from eating, then no God.
Well, speaking of performance issues, let me talk about.
Oh Lord,
our first sponsor for this week's episode, Blue Chew.
Take a bow, Ben.
All right, let's.
Okay. I thought you were about to actually do that.
No, this is the for real. Our first sponsor for this week is Blue Chew.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
cool. Awesome.
Here we go. All right, hey, guys. Confidence can take you far in life. It can also help in the bedroom when it's time to step up to the plate. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but as chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. And it's simple. Just sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And it's all online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package. So, if your tool needs an upgrade, Blue Chew has the gear you're looking for. That was a joke. If you could, thank you. If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. Chew it and do it. We've got a special deal for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DBC at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code DBC to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you for sponsoring us once again, Blue Chew. All right, so I want to bring up a little bit about the shield. Mike, can you bring up Cap Whistle? Because the shield is not just indestructible; it is weirdly.
It's not fair that I'm not allowed to bring on gifts from a non-comic book
pictures.
source.
You can take pictures. You can take screen
Pictures
caps.
don't
It's
convey
easy.
the same information.
You
Fine.
can explain it.
Okay, fine. Okay, then I'm gonna go to the respect.
But I just wanted, I mainly wanted to bring this up because I think it's just really fun and makes no sense.
Yeah.
The shield is somehow capable of responding. So Cap is able to throw it at such precision angles that it can always come back to him, right? Well, it also can just function as he wills it. In this case, he's fighting a guy. I believe this guy's name is just, well, I believe this guy's name is Bob. I think his name is just Bob.
Yeah, Hydra Bob.
Yeah.
Hydra Bob. He throws the shield into the air and he tells him, all I need to do is whistle and this thing is going to take you out. And Bob is like, nah, I don't buy it. And then he does it. Like, I'm not sure if it's just he's that good at timing the shield that he was able to predict that entire conversation and where Bob would be, or if it actually responds to his whistle. Either way, it's impressive.
It does not. No, he timed it. He did the cool, like, he's like, yeah, wait for it. But it does not actually respond.
But he timed it then. If he did it that way, then he timed it in a way where he would know where Bob would be standing, how he'd be holding the hostage, and how long it would take for that entire conversation to wrap up.
I want to tell you about a man named Babe Ruth, who's a real human being that went out. He was a baseball player, pointed at the outfield in a direction, and then when the ball was pitched to him, he fucking hit it, and it went that exact direction. He called his shot. It's not impossible.
I mean, that's impressive, but
it's not impossible. But there's a whole factor to this that Ben's pointing out that Babe Ruth wasn't. He wasn't like having a conversation with somebody out in the stands and being like, in T-minus 15 seconds, this ball is going to hit you right between the eyes. That's more like what Captain America did.
Beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a helpless hostage right in front of him either that he could hit.
He did
Like
not
moving
whistle
target.
and call him. But I agree, Cap is incredibly smart. He's incredibly smart. Even before his cybernetic enhancements, because Yongo, remember, IQ of fucking 600, which is humanly fucking impossible. And not only that, I think that even though Cap is an incredibly talented martial artist and super skilled, Kamen Rider's Ichigo's, whatever you call him, his let me put my notes. There it is. I was like I was like trying to vamp until I got to the right tab. His senses are incredible, and it's all in his suit and his helmet. He has 40 times the hearing of a normal person. He can distinguish precise sounds up to 4 kilometers away. He has 3 times the eyesight of a normal person. I don't know what that means. 3 times the eyesight is not a scale of value.
Zoom? Or...
I know. I have
means.
something. I have something for Captain America on that. I remember the first episode of Death Battle I ever researched was Batman versus Captain America, and I'll never forget Ben and Chad and I just being like, "What?" when Captain America claimed that he could see faster than normal people, whatever that means. So we have to quantify having 3 times the vision versus being able to vaguely see faster.
And he can see in infrared, so he can see people in the dark. He also has this zero sense that is sort of like a kind of like a Daredevil, like what's it called? Like what is it called? Oh, I'm blanking. Daredevil's Lord in heaven, help me find the word. You know, that sense.
Echolocation?
What? It's not that, but that basically.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called either.
Able to sense things in like a 360 degree, and like has like a thing like a
radar
thing on his suit that will light up. A radar sense, yeah, that will light up and tell him of an approaching enemy. So there's really no way that he could be surprised by the shield. And on top of that, one of the things that he does most commonly in Kamen Rider fights, when he fights like hordes of enemies with weapons, is he usually like catches them or steals them and then starts using them against their opponent. And one of the big things that Cap does is throw his shield as an attack. And it's a great attack, but if Kamen Rider Ichigo is way stronger, he's just going to catch the thing. Or as it deflects off something, grab it.
There was a panel that I came across that I should have got. Hands. Because there are examples of people trying to use the shield against him. Yeah. And it never really works. There's there's a fight in one of the comics where a similar super soldier throws it at him. And he's like, "Aha! I can catch the shield and use it against you." And Cap just like effortlessly catches it and is like, "Nobody uses this thing against me, dude.
Yeah,
nobody can do this."
I totally believe that he's more skilled with the shield than Ichigo could be. That just makes sense, right? But at the end of the day, it's a shield. It's not like this complex like laser gun or something.
It feels
you
like
can grab
you
it and then
catch
just
it
start
and then just
bashing,
throw it that
bashing
way.
you with it.
Well,
yeah, or throw it away or do anything with it.
It's a shield that is made out of a material that will always redirect inertia, velocity. So what? That's not the right word. Well, I'm blanking on the right word. So I think if Ichigo tries to grab it, he is gonna have a hard time figuring out how to use it because it just functions different than any sort of piece of metal that he's ever touched.
Sure, it has a strap though. Like it has a thing that you can just hold it with the strap and then like it isn't it's first of all, his intelligence and his perceptibility, would he be able to catch on to get an idea of how it works, right? That it can redirect like any amount of energy that he throws at it. So hitting it is not going to work, and it can really bounce like super crazy unless it can eventually get disrupted when it's bouncing. But at the end of the day, I think that he'd be able to literally grab it and like tear it out of Cap's hands, potentially with Cap's arms still attached. Because even though the shield is impenetrable, Captain America himself is not. When it comes to like durability, Ichigo is not as durable as the shield. Very few things are, but he was able to your bomb that was able to destroy Tokyo, and not just that. Like, I should have taken a picture of this, but they fucked up the green screen effect for the explosion, because you get a shot of like the horizon, and it's clearly like been filmed to be way closer than it should be. So it's not just a nuclear explosion; it's an explosion that like takes up the entire fucking curvature of the ocean that you can see.
Oh,
it's
no.
fucking enormous. It's like clearly like wrong, but that that's how we do it. And he's actually gotten like stronger since then. He's gotten stronger just via training and also through like other forms since then. I guess this big powered up form where he just like looks super buff. It's like you versus the guy she told you not to worry about kind of meme. He's just humongous. Yeah. So I definitely and he's able to hurt people and match people in strength that are capable of hurting him. So he'd be capable of he's at that level of strength as well.
How fast is he? Like how
you mentioned light speed stuff for Cap. It's the same for Ichigo. He can dodge Owlman's killer X-ray beams. We're all familiar with Owlman.
Of course, yes.
You could dodge those X-ray beams, which are described as electromagnetic waves of light. I mean, he can dodge them as they're coming at him. So he is relativistic to light speed. Yeah, there you go.
Like dodging them or aim dodging, the way that like G.I. Joe will dodge lasers.
It fires first. It's coming at him, and he gets out of the way as it's coming at him. Not like I'm dodging your aim. Thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, Cap's definitely blocked light speed lasers before with his shield. So I think it sounds like they're a very similar situation between both of them.
But Ichigo has a couple of other interesting abilities too. He can shapeshift his form to look like anybody else he wants to.
Okay.
Yeah, they just give
what if he looks like
sometimes.
Peggy Carter for a second? How's that going to change the tide of battle?
Well, that and that gets to my next point. His powers of seduction. No, I'm kidding.
Romance battle.
He has attacks that specifically target and destroy people's like internals. Like he'll hit you and then like your internal circuitry or whatever, because you fight cyborgs will get blown up.
Isn't that just called hitting? Like that's not what happens when you punch things. Like
yeah, but it's like a specialized like
it actually goes through and hits targeted areas.
Yeah. And he can fly at least briefly. And he has a paralysis beam that comes out of his belt. And it's like this weird, like stupid looking, like Mechagodzilla looking effect that blasts you, and then you're like surrounded, you're like, I can't move. So if Cap wanted to use the shield against him, he'd be unable to. And it'd be really funny if Cap like threw the shield and then he hit him with the beam and then it bounced back and then like cut Cap's head off because he couldn't move to catch it. That would be hilarious. Right, guys? Right.
I mean, the shield
right now.
Captain America's shield could do that. I distinctly remember when researching Captain America finding a page where he chopped a naked vampire in half with a shield and then pointed to his head and said, "Do you think this A stands for France?" So hard to forget that moment.
I know how the fight would start.
I'm not making that up. I just verified it a minute ago to make sure it's how I remembered it. It's exactly how I remembered it.
There's a Kamen Rider episode. I don't know the context of this, but it's like there are Nazis in Kamen Rider. There is an enemy called Starfish Hitler. Throws out starfishes that mind control you, like Starro. But there is this one point where these bad guys are like digging up this coffin, and then they're like, Hitler's secret treasure, and they're gonna pull it up, and they open it up, and they go, Kamen Rider, and Kamen Rider's in there, and he jumps out and starts attacking them. I don't know the context, but it would be like the fight if we did a death battle would be Captain America being like, I need to find and destroy whatever Hitler's secret treasure is, and he opens up the coffin with the swastika on it, and then Kamen Rider pops out and starts fighting him. That's how it would start.
Cap gets a tip that Hitler's preserved bodies found in South America or whatever is like, I gotta find it. And he opens it up and it's just Kamen Rider. You fell for my trap. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Okay, well, it's a good thing that Captain America can shoot lasers from his eyes and survive the planet blowing up, and it has the power of flight.
Well,
and can
according
move
to Enraged Overweight Fanboy
Thor.
in the chat, didn't make that up. That's their name. And there's a picture of Homer Simpson. Ichigo scales past Kuga, who literally has to hold himself back so he doesn't blow up the planet. I don't know how the scaling in Kamen Rider works. I kind of assumed Ichigo was like one of the weakest ones, but I don't think. But maybe he's not. But if that's true, then even your bullshit argument, Ben, has been countered. Ha-ha!
I mean, the shield can still deflect that. The shield can still block that. And he's fast enough to block anything with it. Unless Kamen Rider is considerably faster than light, Cap is going to be able to block his attacks.
He did.
It's going to be hard for Kamen Rider to actually get a killing blow in.
Well, remember, that Owlman dodging feat was from early in his series, and he's gotten a lot of power-ups since then. So, if anything, he might be significantly faster at that point. I know that at least at one point his power was doubled, and then I think the super strong buff boy is 4 times, or that might be it's you versus the guy she told me not to worry about. So I think if anything, he's faster, and if at worst, like if they're comparable speeds, then the same goes for Cap. Like, he'd be able to block attacks, but then Kamen Rider would also be able to react to his attacks. It isn't like Cap would need to be like blitzing speed to be like perfectly protected from anything that that Kamen Rider could do. If they're similar speeds, then it's really only a matter of time before Kamen Rider gets in and then just like one shots it, right? That's all he needs.
Okay. Well, what kind of weapons does Kamen Rider have?
His motorcycle, the Cyclone.
Aside from the motorcycle,
that's it. Okay. He fights with his fists, which are righteous and justice.
All right. Well, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for him to get around the shield. It doesn't sound like he has any tools that will specifically counter that or get around it. So I don't know. I still think
Omnicat's point, which is, Liam, you're forgetting the most important factor of all. Can Kamen Rider do this all day?
He sure can. It took 50,000 volts of electricity. He survived absolute zero. He survived an explosion that launched him into fucking outer space. He was fine.
Guns blazing brings
Captain
up a great
America's
point.
been able to fight for 48 hours straight. So I don't know if he can necessarily keep up with that. What's up, Nick?
But just Guns Blazing in the chat was asking, why doesn't Ichigo just simply use Bankai? Which I thought that was a great point to bring up.
Because he was
chat, where's the liar button? We need that. Definitely not for me when I said Captain America could shoot lasers from his eyes, but for anything regarding Liam. All right. Let's get to one of our other sponsors, and then I'd like to talk a little bit about Sarn Lich King as well, because there's a few things that I really want to touch on, especially while Billy's here. But our next sponsor for this week's episode is our good friend Dave. Yep, Dave's back, everybody. All right, we've all been in a situation at some point in our lives when we were a little tight on cash. Maybe you could only afford to put a few gallons of gas in your tank, or you got another save the date and are wondering how you're going to be able to afford the gift. Plus, you're living paycheck to paycheck or struggling to make ends meet. Any other expenses can obviously get really stressful. But don't worry, that's where Dave comes in. Dave can help. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. That's more money to fill your tank, buy a wedding gift, or catch up on bills. You can finally tackle those expenses that have been stressing you out without any hangups. There's no interest and no credit check needed. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to get the financial relief they need with extra cash. So download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve member FDIC. Future you will thank you. And I love how anytime Dave sponsors the show, you guys in the chat just treat it like
Dave,
a person.
Dave,
Hey, Dave's
Dave,
back. What's up, Dave?
Dave.
Like
Dave has been there for many of us in our times of need. We really owe a lot
good
to
old
Dave.
Well, thanks to Dave for sponsoring the episode, and I'm glad that they call their company just Dave. It's so fun. All right. So I think for now, like, everybody be thinking about who you think should win between this matchup of Kamen Rider versus Captain America. I'm also wondering if there are other ideas for Kamen Rider, if this is the one we should do, because clearly, look, I saw your responses, guys. I know. Clearly, Kamen Rider needs to make an appearance in Death Battle at some point, right? Yeah. But if this is the matchup you guys want us to do, let us know. If there's maybe another matchup that would maybe be better, also let us know. I'm very curious to see if this is the one or if there's a better one.
Maybe Spider-Man could work too, or
Spider-Man's
like a Power Ranger.
You know, we haven't actually brought back Peter Parker since season 1.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? We need to do that.
All right, let's talk about what is going on. I don't actually know if we have that graphic. What's going on? Hey, there it is. With Sauron Lich King, and I said, Billy.
What's that?
Billy.
Something cool. Can I have it?
No, I think.
Can
you show it to us, Billy?
Yeah.
What is? Oh no!
Makes me kind of want
to. Oh my God, he's invisible.
And then use it for myself.
How did that happen?
Also give it to
I don't know.
The devil.
I felt like I ducked down really hard and hit my knees.
Oh no! Well, if your knees are okay, perhaps you could talk to us about what you did on Sauron Lich King.
I made things explode.
Yeah,
That's what I do all the time.
Yes, you did.
It was a fun one. Lots of fire, lots of ice. Worked with Louise and Austin, 2 of our fellow Death Battle Viz posters, and made a lot of things glow and.
He's taking a break right now because but Luis, I did want a special mention to Luis for so Luis has been an animator and animation director for Death Battle for many years now, and he's specialized in sprite work for the majority of the time, but in this episode he worked on and recently he's been doing a lot of Viz Post and Unreal with Billy and whatnot. But for this one, he also did some 3D animation. So there are shots that are basically completely Luis from start to finish in this show, in this episode, which is amazing. Like that guy is constantly surprising me with everything he can do. It's
real
awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Luis is one of the most talented people I know. So yeah, not
really
surprised that he was able to jump into 3D and conquer it the way he did.
Yeah. On this one in particular as well, like this one was tricky, I think, just in general. Not only are the characters there's just so many pieces on them that you have to keep in mind while moving them around, especially Lich King, who has these gigantic shoulder pauldrons that are constantly getting in the way of our camera angles, of his own arms. Like that armor would never work realistically.
It even affected the thumbnail. I remember you were like, it looks cool, it renders cool, but like these fucking shoulder pauldrons in the way.
They're designed to be seen from like way up in the sky looking down. So
yeah.
The first imagery had him like at an angle, and I was looking at it, I was like, my eye is instantly drawn to this fucking pauldron. It's like that's all I'm seeing. Yeah. So having to maneuver around that, especially like also next to Sauron, I'm sure you can see it in some shots. But for the most part, we really tried to make sure that despite the size difference between the two characters' models, that Lich King didn't seem weirdly proportioned next to Sauron. Gui might have slimmed down Lich King a little bit for the fight from his original model, but still had to keep that look on him. Hey, we actually, is this a sneak peek? Yeah, it's a good example. Look at that gigantic pauldron. Oh my gosh.
So it's like 40% shoulder pad.
Yeah. So anytime he
Something
moves his
like that, you
arm,
were
we'd have to
showing
be
the
careful with
sneak
that.
peek for the next episode. I was like,
It
I was
also
like,
it
I
also
didn't prove
meant,
it yet.
it also meant anytime he was moving his arm, like despite this being a sword, like essentially a sword battle, we couldn't have him bring his arm above his like shoulders. Like you can't fight with those shoulders.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, enough time spent on the fucking pauldrons. Yeah, the episode was a very complicated one to work on, but going into it, I had a very specific like vision in mind for how I wanted to present the characters. For both the episode at large, like the rundowns, and in the fight, I really wanted to emphasize just the presence of the characters, make sure that they felt terrifying, but not in like a horror sort of way, but in a sort of intimidation kind of way. Like these are characters that just them walking into a room means everybody in that room is going to fall quiet, probably fall to their knees and beg for mercy or swear allegiance to him in an instant. Like that's the kind of characters that these are. Or just like blow up from their sheer presence. Like that. So making them feel intimidating, making sure that the fear behind them was important, was so essential, was important to emphasize in the rundowns, and then making the fight itself a lot more than just they swing their weapons a few times. Really emphasizing that was super important to me. And Sauron in particular was tricky because, well, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, he doesn't have a lot of appearances in the films, and his appearances in the films aren't really from the books. In the Lord of the Rings, Sauron appears basically 0 times. He's mentioned a lot, but he doesn't actually appear, and he doesn't actually have any dialogue.
Gollum talks about him in the book.
Yes, Gollum talks about him. Pippin interacts with him.
He does have a physical form in the books. He is like a dude in the books. He's not. It isn't a giant flaming eye in the books.
The giant flaming eye is a reference to the Eye of Sauron is a thing in the books.
Yeah,
it's more
like
so
an image in your head.
Yeah. It's his symbol essentially. It's his presence over the world.
It's a great addition to the movies. I think it's the perfect way of having him. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, especially
when
since
we were.
Go ahead.
Ben, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, when we were making it for the episode, I really wanted it to be reference it somewhat in the look, but not be beholden to it, because it's like it's kind of flat. It's presented, in a strange way. So I wanted it to front facing. You see that, but on the side, it starts becoming, as you kind of described it, this infinite wall of flame behind it. It's just like this massive, terrifying thing.
Exactly. We obviously had to have a reference there, and I really wanted a moment where the two eyes could kind of compete, right? Because Lich King has the Eye of Acaris, which is not the same thing as the Eye of Sauron in either medium, right? The Eye of Acaris is literally like a tool that he uses to spy on other people, essentially. It's the Eye of Acaris, basically the way we interpret it based on what it could do, is it's able to look in on things and figure out what it is. You can like look at it like a stronghold. It's in the Warcraft games, and determine how much its stats, essentially. Get its stats. And then summon undead near it. So my thought was, okay, he could use the Eye of Acaris to sort of detect things that Sauron can do, or at least analyze something that Sauron presents in front of him. But what could that be? Well, there are 2 things in the book that I really wanted to reference that are not really in the movies. The first is the prophecies that the ring is able to do, and this kind of references. I literally have the book right here,
got a weapon,
so I can. It is massive, by the way.
So
this
good.
thing is
Oh,
huge.
dang.
It's the 50th edition. I love this thing. But in the book, there are a couple different times where the ring actually prophesizes somebody's doom. It specifically does it to Gollum when Gollum attacks Frodo and Sam on Mount Doom. They don't have this in the movie because I think it would be very out of nowhere. But in the book, Sam watches as Frodo essentially becomes sort of this like angel person. It's it's very vague or kind of vague on what happens, but he becomes a man in white robes, and the ring becomes this wheel of fire. And he outright says, "If you touch me ever again, you shall be cast into the fire of doom," which is what happens to Gollum later on. So it predicts Gollum's death in this sort of like crazy ethereal way. And that's what I wanted to capture at the end with the eye being the ring of fire, basically, and the fiery Lich King coming out, which I think a lot of people could interpret in a lot of different ways. It could be Lich King's death. The initial idea was it's actually Bolvar, the next Lich King, the Lich King of Fire. So there's a bunch of different ways to interpret that, I think. But
intentionally vague.
Intentionally multiple ways to take it, but essentially Lich King's death is predicted. And using that from the books and not the movies was important to me, as well as how Sauron sounds. So Sauron doesn't have any dialogue in this book. He does technically talk in some of the other books, but in this book it does describe how he sounds, because Pippin talks to him and then describes essentially that it hurts. His voice, so for one thing, is described as not sounding like a voice. He looks at Pippin. I think it's what does he say? Tried to get away, then he came. He did not speak so that I could hear words. He just looked and I understood. It's not like a voice. It is sort of this, I guess you could interpret it as like telepathy. He's speaking in your mind. But then later on, it talks about how Sauron asks some questions. Pippin doesn't respond. So it hurts. So I really wanted, the way I kind of interpreted his voice from this is that he sounds alien and painful. And I wanted him to sound that way in the fight. So we definitely took some inspiration from how he sounds in the movies, but also added the black speech of Mordor into it as whispers, which is sort of done in the movie. There's like a whispering noise sometimes, but it's not necessarily the same thing. So we actually translated every line that Sauron said into black speech as well, and had the voice actor for it, Ryan Solis, record both in English and in black speech, and had both those lines mixed together. The English is kind of loud, and the black speech is a whisper, so that the intention being he sounds like he's over there, but it also sounds like he's behind you whispering in your ear. That was the idea, and I really love how it turned out. There's
sound design and music in that episode just did such a wonderful job putting it all together. It was just wonderful.
Aaron posted, so Theirwolf Media posted the music sheet for the track. One King to Rule Them All. It is actually technically a lyrical track. The choir is a mix of English and Sindarin, the Elvish language.
Oh, that's so fucking cool.
So when I was going back and forth with him and we were talking about like what we should do with the music, I was like, okay, I definitely want to like capture that sort of like Howard Shore feel. And then he came back with this idea of doing a choir with Sindarin in it. And I was like, this is crazy. Like if he could pull this off, I don't know how well this is going to work, but I definitely feel like we should go for it. And like the first version he made of it was already incredible. Like, man, that guy's really talented.
You're like, this is perfect.
I'm always impressed by the musicians we work with. So yeah, definitely check out that track. Definitely check out what he posted. I think he posted on Twitter and also maybe on the Theirwolf Media page. But either way, definitely check that out. It's really impressive what he did with it.
I imagine we'll have the AMV version here for the Champions soon, yeah?
Yeah, probably. We usually do a music release on YouTube for members, so definitely keep an eye on that and like listen to. What I would recommend doing is pull up that music sheet that he has with the lyrics on it, and then listen to the music while reading through that, and then you'll catch it, because it is. I mean, it's choir, so it's like an opera kind of thing. It's a little hard to pick out. And it's also not in English or any like really known language, so it's kind of hard to pick out the words.
But it'll be easier without mountains exploding around it. So
yes, and also without the volcano shot looks so good, Billy. Man,
one of the first things I did and that set the tone. I was like, fuck, I gotta match this the whole way through. Let's do it.
Crazy enough, right before we worked on that shot, slight spoilers for Rings of Power. The episode of Rings of Power came out where Mount Doom erupted, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is perfect. We'll just use that as reference.
Yep.
And that was the idea.
Perfect fucking timing.
Man, it's so cool how
I really
things
wanted to
kind of time out for
include
it.
like some footage of Sauron, but from that show, but it was obviously we couldn't, right? Because it there's a lot of
Well, we did
spoilers
include
involved.
footage.
We
from
involved
episode
the
one.
flashback. Yeah.
You mean of Secret Sauron?
Yeah, secret Sauron. Yeah.
Of not Anatar. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Fortunately.
I'm not.
Also, I just don't like.
I don't think it worked that well,
I
unfortunately.
don't think that twist worked out.
I think
know,
Rings of Power episode 1 through 3 is pretty good, but then once they get to Numenor, it starts to. I don't know.
The Numenor's plotline is a little boring.
I don't know.
The Hobbit
Things
stuff
get
is
a little
so good,
tired.
though.
Those
actors are like insane. I thought they were amazing.
All the performances, everything. The show looks and feels amazing, but like it just takes forever for anything to get done.
I thought Halbrand and Galadriel were kind of okay. We're just not that. We're a little mid.
Well,
mixed.
I was expecting Galadriel to have. This is something we can talk about.
I know.
I was expecting a different plot thread for Galadriel, but anyway,
expecting a character arc.
Well, they did have sort of a character arc, but I was expecting it to be more so about her immortality, which didn't actually come up.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it in Champion Cast.
You nerds need to stop agreeing with each other and get back to fighting.
yeah, Liam, we're supposed to be angry with each other.
On Cap, and God comes out of his butt. And
the poll is up, so let's go ahead and get back to our community death battle.
Ow, Medley. She bit me right on the nose.
That's the death battle. There you go.
I have a friend that has two pet doves, and they're so sweet.
Unless they fight each other, right?
They're fucking assholes to each other. I don't get it. How did you know? They're so mean. They'll like smash against their cages to like get at each other, and it's like Jesus. And when one of them like gets like outside time, they'll fly to the top of the other person's cage and then do this woo 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 dance, like fuck you victory dance. They're so mean.
Like I'm out and you're not.
Yes, literally.
I don't know much.
I asked her.
I don't know much about doves.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to get their freak on.
No, because when they're together, when they're out together, they're like fighting. They're like biting at each other. They're so mean.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about let's get to the community death battle. First, I do have one more sponsor. We have 3 sponsors this episode, which is great. For this episode. ExpressVPN. Hey, ExpressVPN is back. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like checking your baggage at the airport without a lock. Who would do that? You might think everything is kept private, but you never know who's going to go through your extremely private stuff. When you go online without a VPN, internet service providers can see every single website you visit. They can legally sell this information, even without your consent, to ad companies and tech giants. But when you use ExpressVPN, your online activity is protected. ExpressVPN creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet, so nobody can spy on your online activity. And what I like most about it is that it is super easy and reliable. No matter what device you're on, all you have to do is fire up the app and click one button. Just one. It works on phones, laptops, even routers, so everyone who shares your Wi-Fi will be protected. Secure your online activity today at expressvpn.com/dbc and get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN free. That's expressvpn.com/dbc. expressvpn.com/dbc. Thank you so much for the sponsor, ExpressVPN. Let's get to this vote. Okay. Again, I am very curious what you guys have to say, not only about this matchup, members, but also what other matchups maybe would work for Kamen Rider, because I feel like this is a character that has to be in Death Battle at some point.
You mean Ichigo specifically, or the franchise?
Well, I guess technically any Kamen Rider, because I know there's been quite a few. Ichigo, I believe, is the one that's most recognizable, so I imagine that's the one most people would want to see. But maybe
probably do him first.
Maybe there's another. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It depends. It all depends on what you guys have to say. But let's get to the vote. We're gonna start with Billy. No, I always get this mixed up. We're going to start with the community page. The community page answers. We have answers from you guys first. So let's go ahead and bring up the first answer that you guys had to say on the YouTube community page.
Shall I read the first one?
Go for it.
Go for it.
All right, Shadow Moon says, Kamen Rider Ichigo is a cybernetically enhanced human with the abilities of a grasshopper. He doesn't get fatigued, he can hold his breath for 2 hours, and can destroy anything with just his rider kick. Also, Ichigo can tank a nuclear bomb. Can Cap do that?
That's a good ending. Wait, is that? Did I miss that when you were explaining it, Liam? He's got the powers.
You mentioned
of a
it as a
grasshopper?
joke, or I thought it was a joke.
Yeah,
I thought
mean,
he was kidding.
He's designed after the design is of a grasshopper.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure like how
the grasshopper.
intentional that was by Shocker. If they were like, we're gonna give him the powers of a grasshopper, or if that's just a design choice by the show.
Kids like bugs, I think, is
It's
probably
why
the
he
thought
jumps
process.
and kicks and stuff. I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Gotcha. All right, the
Yeah.
Spider-Man matchup actually makes a lot more sense now.
Mhm.
Okay. See, I'm learning more. Okay, well, let's go ahead and bring up the next answer. Billy, you can go ahead and read this one.
Yeah, sure. KCL says, I'm not seeing people talk about Ichigo's weakness with his belt. All Cap has to do is stop it from running, and Ichigo will suffocate to death. Cap has FTL feats, so he has speed on his side. He should easily be able to bash his shield into the belt, and we can call it a day.
Wait,
Hold on.
that didn't come up. All he has to do is break
That
that
seems
belt?
like
No, that's wrong. It's from first of all, it's from he in his first incarnation before he gets upgraded. He needs to get up to top speed to absorb wind into his belt in order to transform. He doesn't need that anymore. He just transforms on his own.
He's beyond that.
There's nothing about suffocate. I don't even know what the suffocating thing is. That's not.
Chat, is that a thing? If the belt is destroyed, will he suffocate? Sounds like it's a thing. I don't know. I have to lean towards that personally. So yeah,
Oh, sure.
my answer is Cap hits him with the shield and Kamen
light
Rider
speed.
I just love that
suffocates
both
to
of these
death.
guys have
at
feats
light
that
speed.
are completely stupid, don't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Mhm.
Like, uniformly, both of them. It's great. It's wonderful.
I mean, it's almost
So-
like it's comic books and Sentai. You know,
Tokusatsu.
Yeah, this is crazy Super Sentai. Yeah, so all right, Captain America can see faster than light, and make Kamen Rider suffocate faster than light.
Kamen Rider
That's
can
how that
whatever
works.
that
Faster than light
means, whatever
and
anything you
tear
just said
Cap's
means.
head off. You're gonna tear Cap's head off, and he's gonna push it down
Wow,
into Cap's
faster
neck
than
hole
that,
like
too
a fucking
fast
Mortal
than
Kombat.
All right,
Fatality.
let's get to the vote.
And then
We are
eat
going to
him like a
start
fucking
with.
massive human grasshopper.
Wow,
And he's
that's
Sega to Sanchiro. What the fuck? What are we even talking about? Why is this discussion?
It's not.
That is
It's
quite
not
a-
Sega to Sancho versus
He's
Captain
Sega to
America.
Sanchiro. He's literally,
If this was Sega to Sancho
Sanchiro.
versus Captain America, I would literally give up. Like there was not. like,
Sega
I
to
would be
Sanchiro. Look
voting.
at them. They're the
I
same
gotta
admit,
person.
That's part of
His
the reason I'd like to
face.
see this as a real fight, so so
Yeah.
that Constellation can make an appearance.
All right, let's get to the vote. Let's start with the community page vote that you guys voted on before the show. Go ahead and bring up that poll. That is 68%
Whoa.
Captain America. So
Okay.
I already got one vote. That's one for Cap.
Okay.
Let's
1-0
get
at the
to
moment.
We'll see. See what
the
happens.
cast here. All right,
confident.
Billy, who are you voting for?
Look, I like Cap. Maybe not racist Ultimate Cap, but I don't.
I'm not
I don't-
arguing for that one.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
arguing for
exactly.
Normal.
Yeah, that's that guy. But I don't see Cap taking this over Kamen Rider from what I know and what's been discussed here today. I think it's Ichigo's taking this one.
I saw a political compass meme that was like all the way on the left side European theater Cap, and all the way on the right side Pacific theater Cap.
Oh no.
Yikes.
All right, so that's one for Cap and one for Kamen Rider. All right, Nick. Where's your vote?
I
It's with me, right?
I have more questions than information about Kamen Rider at this point, so I couldn't swear by this being my final answer. However, I do know that Kamen Rider, to my knowledge, has not taken drugs to become awesome and then turn around and tell you not to take drugs. Captain America's done that. He was part of a Marvel Comics like anti-drug campaign, knowing full goddamn well that drugs are the only reason he's got powers.
So you're
medical
voting
drugs are
against him
different
for
from
hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It's medical drugs. It's a medical
It's a different
experiment
thing.
thing.
It's like that one comic of Superman being like, you aliens, like as in literal aliens.
So
you need to go through the immigration process. It's like,
so you're voting for Cap.
Shut up, Clark.
So you're
no,
voting for Cap.
I'm not voting for hypocrisy. I'm voting against it. I'm voting Kamen Rider right now.
There's 2 for Kamen Rider. Jinjo for
Jinjo.
Trick.
We're going for the bird clutch here.
I don't know how fitting choice of words actually. Clutch is what you refer to as like
have him do a trick,
little claws,
and we will interpret it for Kamen Rider.
Okay, here we go. Hold on. Let me get the motivation. Let me get out the motivation. A ball of seeds and honey and pieces of whatever.
Oh, he's ready for it.
He's very ready for it. All right. Jinjo, come on. Ready? Here we go. Let's go the other way.
I love
Good boy. And Medley's
comes in
herself
for the
too.
steal.
I love chicken. I love chickens too.
Now here's my interpretation of that, Nick.
Hold on.
Jinjo was moving around in a circle, which I think feels like Captain America's shield. So
it's just like a tokusatsu transformation sequence, which is like Kamen Rider.
Oh wow. Okay, so I guess it could be either one.
He just waved hello too. So
wave that uses a hand. Waving is with a hand. That's the shield.
And Kamen Rider has 2 hands.
But does he use it for his transformation?
He sure does. He spins the thing in the original. He spins the belt thing
with his hand.
Yeah, with his hand.
Oh crap. Okay, I guess this vote is inconclusive. All right, this all comes down to you guys.
Hands.
Jinjo has an inconclusive vote. So let's get the vote from the chat, and this is going to decide it. We got 2 for Kamen Rider, 1 for Cap. See what you guys have.
This is all for it. Whoa!
Wow! Okay,
Inverted.
71% Kamen Rider. Yeah, completely opposite.
Big
from
swing.
The community page. Okay, that's that then. 3 votes means Kamen Rider wins the community death battle. All right, congrats to Kamen Rider. I think Kamen Rider's actually sounds like he'd be pretty fun in a death battle.
I just want to I just want to write the rundowns of talking about all the weird shit. Talk about Starfish Hitler. Hell yeah. All
right, well, thanks again to G0 for posting this in the Champions Ballot. Again, there will be a new Champions Ballot up in the Death Battle Discord for you guys to submit new ideas for the vote that we will be having for next year's season. Very excited for that. We've already seen so many incredible ideas posted in the ballots. Again, if you've seen an idea already posted in the ballot, or you think we have talked about an episode and you think like maybe we'll do this episode in the future, don't let that deter you from posting your idea. Whatever idea you want to see, regardless of what it is, put it in that ballot. Let us know what you want to see. If you just assume we're going to do one and you don't post it, then we don't see it. Then we're not going to do it. Something to keep in mind as well. We are taking, your ideas from this and putting in that poll, but just if your idea doesn't make it to the poll or doesn't win the poll, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to become a death battle, right? By putting it in the ballot, it also means we are absolutely seeing your idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already seen a bunch of ideas from the ballot that we want to do as community death battles and as death battles.
Yep.
We just did Chaos versus Kyogre last time, and that could be a really cool death battle. I don't know, like there's some really cool ideas coming from this ballot that I'm excited to talk about and make into death battles. So yeah, be sure to check that out. We will have our fireside chat in 2 weeks. That is on the 30th. Also, next week's Death Battle cast is going to be a pre-recorded episode because it's going to be on Thanksgiving week and a lot of us will be out. So that does mean that there's not going to be a live vote. But we have a plan. Instead of doing a live vote, there's going to be only one vote for next week's matchup. And that is going to be Smash Brothers decides who wins. Just Smash Brothers. So if you were at our Bowser versus what did we do? Bowser versus K. Rool?
DDD.
DDD, that's what it was. If we were at our Bowser versus DDD episode, you know that it could get crazy letting Smash Brothers decide who wins. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see how it works. And I believe the matchup is gonna be, unless this changes, is gonna be Luigi versus Pac-Man. As requested by Squiddy in the ballot. So that'll be fun. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it'll be a complete train wreck. Who knows? We'll see. All right. I think that covers everything we wanted to talk about today. So that'll be a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Take care.
See you guys. Oh, he's gone.